Whether you're a lifelong keeper or just getting started, help us encourage responsible keeping, conservation, and public education in the interest of keeping our reptiles safe and healthy as we protect them for future generations. You're invited to spend time with us as we experience these awesome animals together on Intrepid Exotics. Hey everybody, welcome back to Intrepid Exotics live stream number 2. Hopefully we've got all the bugs worked out that we had to deal with last time. Should be a really cool afternoon today. I've got a lady coming on to talk with us by the name of Nicole. She's with Ladytis Exotics. Been really fortunate. She caught on here to my channel when we first got started here. And we've been talking a lot since then, became friends, and she's got some awesome reticulated pythons, some monitor lizards and things like that, and really great personality. So you guys will really enjoy talking with her today. And hey, Heidi MJ, how you doing? Happy Saturday to you. Let's see who all we got on here. Oh, where's my chat list? Okay, well, let's go ahead without any further ado here and bring Nicole on. There you are. Hey.
Hello.
How you doing?
I am great.
It's been a busy day for you. You just had your live stream earlier this afternoon that I did my best to sit in on for a little while.
Yep.
So.
Glad to be here, though.
Likewise. Yeah, like I said, for you guys that don't know, I first ran into Nicole's channel, just happened across a video of hers where she was talking about handling her retics without a hook. And anytime you see anybody mentioning handling their retics without a hook, you got to stop and listen and see what they're saying. You're always skeptical. You should always be skeptical when you hear that. But I was really impressed because, yeah, Nicole, you did pretty much the same thing that I do with all my animals. You know, you know how to read them and you know how to approach them. And when you do it right, you know, you don't always need to have a tool there. So.
Yep. Yeah, I would say all of the older ones I don't need a hook with.
Right.
The sub-adults, the smaller ones, of course, they haven't quite gotten so adjusted. But
right.
I think I always tell people the most important thing is that if you get them as babies, it's easier because then you can condition them if you spend time with them.
Right.
Now, people, a reticulated python always say it's not an animal that you want to buy and just throw in a cage and leave alone.
No.
You're going to have a totally different experience.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And just like the monitor lizards, just like Niles downstairs, you know.
Exactly.
Even when you don't want to, you got to go down there and sit with him because if you leave him alone for a few weeks, he's going to be an entirely different animal to mess with.
Yep, that's a fact.
So how many retics are you up to now?
8 retics.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
I see. You know what? I've actually got the pictures of a couple of them up here. Let me find them real quick. Yeah. I got a couple pictures, a couple of those ones that you sent over. Let's see. That's one of them.
That's my Motley Moschino.
Oh, yeah.
That's Hefe.
Oh, yeah? Is that a male?
Yep, he's a male.
Cool. Let's see, we got him. And we've
That's
got one
my
more.
Motley Tiger, hat purple. That is Moana.
Yeah.
The kid's named that one, of course. So you
Oh,
know, the
yeah?
one behind it in that picture is Maui.
Right. Yeah, I thought that one looked familiar. Let's see. And this one right here.
That's my baby.
Yeah. So does she have the notorious attitude?
No, never. So that's why I show her so much. Me handling her, she never had an attitude. Ever.
Really? No kidding.
Or he never had an attitude.
Yeah, those
I
are.
got him from Jim Jolly. Most of my retics are from Jim Jolly. I just got one that's from Nerd, one from Matthew Oakley, and one from Slither.
Yeah.
But all the rest of them are Jim Jolly. And And that was because of Randy. You know, I knew that Randy had many of his is from Jim Jolly, and they were
Uh,
so mild mannered. And
right,
I know that Jim handles them a lot out the egg.
right. Yeah,
So
you've
thank
got to.
you.
Hey, Fago,
Actually,
good to see.
Portafago follows me.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
think
good
he
to see.
came from your page, but he follows me. Yeah.
All right. Told you, we're getting as many folks over there as we can.
That's right. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's good
Yeah.
stuff over there at Ladytis Exotics.
Right? Right. Yeah, I was I run into Fago on just about everybody's live streams. Oh, cool. Let's see. There we go.
Thank you,
Heidi just
Heidi.
subbed. Heidi was actually I started a thing a while back with like answering specific questions, you know, making a video about specific questions.
Okay.
And Heidi was the first one that I got to. And then, of course, starting the live streams and starting a new job and the schedule and everything changing up. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm lucky to get my one video a week out.
That's me. You get possibly one video, but you're definitely going to get reptiles and cocktails.
Right, right. Yeah, I'm finding that's, you know, at the very least, if I end up getting too busy during the week and just simply can't get to it, then, you know, I've just blocked off Saturday, you know, we're going to do something. Yeah, even if I just kind of.
So what I try to do is post at least a short. If I don't do anything, I try to
Right.
post at least a short.
Right. Yeah, I just posted. I started posting those, and it jacked up my analytics and made it look all funky right there at the beginning. And then I stopped for a
Okay.
long time. I just posted another one here not too long ago. Just kind of an ad. We're still trying to get up that next benchmark at 10,000 subs.
You just went from 1,000 to 10,000.
Oh yeah.
5,000 is not even a goal.
Yeah. No. You don't get what you don't ask for.
Mediocre. Right, that's mediocre. You'll get there quickly, though. I mean, it's definitely one of my favorite channels, and I think it's definitely just everything branded and constructed just right. I can't believe you just started it, though.
Yeah, I was really surprised. There was a couple things that I anticipated was going to happen when I started. And one was that I was just going to be talking into thin air for months and months and months and months before anybody ever picked up on it. And another one was that you get a bunch of trolls and negativity and stuff, because you always expect that on social media of any kind. And I have gotten none of that so far. I think I've only gotten maybe one sideways comment. And
Yeah,
it's just,
I've truly been blessed with that.
yeah, and that's the most important. I am too. I'm prepared to keep my mouth shut. I'm determined not to ever let my mean side come out online. It's not on my channel. This is all about being positive.
Yeah, but I'll block somebody in a minute.
Oh yeah. That was what my last video was about. Was about keeping things positive and, you know, not talking about other people and things like that. And because I've seen a couple channels
Too
here
much
recently.
of
Yeah.
Not
Seen-
necessary.
No.
Especially when it should be above certain people. So it's just not necessary for anybody, but definitely certain people should just be like, this is,
Yeah.
this is a waste of my time.
Yeah. I mean, once you've achieved a certain skill level in something, what people say shouldn't matter. You know.
Right, and you can still say the message though, because
Exactly.
I did one. I reposted a video on Instagram the other day. It was an older video, and I just kind of like reposted a message. And it because I was seeing a lot of people driving with snakes unsecured, and that to me is a big no-no. And so in that video, I talk about if you get forget the snake for a moment.
Right.
You get into a car accident. 97% of the people in the world are terrified of snakes. That fireman, that paramedic come and see a loose snake, and you're dying, that's
Right.
going to be a major delay.
Yeah.
And it's not worth it.
It's absolutely true. Absolutely true. I mean, not just that, but I mean, even a little fender bender or something. If you've got your snake in an awkward position, bumping the wrong way, you hurt your animal.
Yep.
So,
It's
and
just
plus,
not worth it.
and plus, not to mention that, but you're supposed to. It's the law in a lot of places where you have to have them in a locked, marked container when you're transporting them. So.
Well, that makes sense. I definitely think that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's so many things that just make sense that if people just were smart, we wouldn't have all of this taggering at us.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. That's
Like I was talking about
Oh no, go ahead.
the man who just died, actually not too far from me in Maryland from the venomous snake. One of the things that unfortunately he died, but what was very impressive was it was the most positive article under the circumstances. They stressed in the local news how nice his enclosures were, how nice the snakes were kept, how secure they were,
Right.
and at that moment they thought that he died from something else. But the autopsy finally came back a couple weeks ago to say he indeed died from a venomous snake bite, which means he knew he got bitten. And his conscience said, let me get this snake back in the enclosure and secure so nobody else gets hurt if they try to help him.
Right. That's really cool.
And unfortunately, he's no longer here, but the fact that he even cared enough about other people. It's not just about us.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's anytime there's anybody that I think has any reason at all to come into my house, whether it's, if I'm renting at the time or something like that,
right.
Whether they like snakes or not, I'm like, okay, you got to take a tour with me so you know what's in here.
Right.
Right. Yeah,
and what to do if you see it unsecured,
Right. Yep. Yeah, especially with the big snakes here. So they all stay secured. They don't get out. So, but we're all human. We've all forgotten to put that lock back on a time or two and walk back downstairs and go, ooh, I'm lucky.
Yeah, that's why I have cameras on every enclosure. Because for me, and again, if we're asleep, I'm concerned about the snake harming themselves. Because, especially the retics, they knock everything over.
Yeah. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Let's see. Heidi got a question. We'll put that up there. She says, what are each of your next reptiles on the wish list? That's a good place to start. What's your next one?
Well, for me, because I'm into breeding now, it definitely would be a high-powered male ball python.
Yeah.
Now, if I could have my wish animal, I would have a facility built, and I definitely would want a crocodile or alligator. That is my dream animal.
Right.
I settled for the Asian water monitor because my husband made it clear. He said, look, snake is one thing, but if you bring an alligator, I'm out. We're going to have to live in two separate houses. With the water monitor.
That's reasonable. That's reasonable. I think a house would probably be a bad place for a croc anyway. I'd really like to have the setup that Keenan's got out there. I've seen a couple of his past videos where he's got the two gators in that pond outside and just...
Yeah. And for me, that's the only way you can keep them.
Yeah. Yeah, I certainly wouldn't want...
It's like...
Yeah, I wouldn't want to keep... I mean, it's the same thing with tortoises and so forth, I seen somebody was rehoming a sulcata the other day, and I was like, I wish I was in a different setup here, because you can't keep them in the house, not unless you're going to reinforce it, because they'll chew right through the walls. They're little bulldozers.
But that's another thing I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of rehoming.
Oh, yeah.
I think that animals go through so much stress, especially when they are adults.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can see there's a major difference with my Motley Golden Child son. She can immediately identify when it's not us standing in front of her enclosure.
Yeah.
Where if it's one of us, she'll advance forward to acknowledge that, hey, it's one of us. But if it's somebody else, she'll sit there and she'll put them eyes on them, or she'll go and get in a place where they can't see her. You know, because she can't hide anymore, but she's good at turning her body around so you can't see me.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of like sticking the head under the blanket. Ha ha, you can't see me. Coils up and stuffs that head down the middle. Maybe if I don't move, they won't know I'm here. My prairie dogs are like that. My prairie dogs are worst. Yeah. Yeah, my prairie dogs are the absolute worst with that because they're so smart and they recognize people. The first time they meet somebody, they hate them. We have friends had friends and family in from Brooklyn this weekend, and one of them met the prairie dogs for the first time, and she was really sweet for all about 3 seconds, and now she's got Band-Aid on her finger. It's
crazy how they're very intelligent.
Yeah. Well, you know, it was funny. We haven't had very many warm days where I could take the animals outside so far. Had a couple days that were 80 degrees. But I was able to get Tigger, my 15-foot male, outside. Actually, I got all three of them outside for a little bit, but Tigger was so cool the other day. I had him out, and he run around for a little bit and run around. And I was all the way on the other side of the room, and he starts just coming right back into the house on his own. Came right back up to his enclosure, jumped right in by himself from the backyard.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, that was the first time I'd seen him do that. But
see, mine do that in the house.
Yeah.
That's why I let them roam. Like first of all, I believe they need major exercise. So, one of the things that's argued is if these enclosures are efficient for them. Well, we know that an 8x3x3 is not totally efficient for them. But it is if you actually let them out for exercise. Because most of the time that you see them in these enclosures, they're not moving around.
Right.
They're resting.
Yeah.
But then they'll get restless at some point, and then you know to let them out, and they roam everywhere. They can go upstairs. I have two dogs. I have a Yorkie Poo and a Rottweiler. Clearly, I don't want them to get near the Yorkie Poo because they probably definitely discover food.
Yeah.
And then a Rottweiler, my Rottweiler comes to that and look at the enclosures, and he has no reaction, but I would never chance that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know. It doesn't take anything but a wrong move and have a bad encounter there. It's like we've got a miniature pincher here, and she's got to stay secluded in a bedroom all the time because if not, I'll be cleaning a dog collar out of the snake enclosure, and I really don't want to do that.
With a horrible way. We will feel horrible if that happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Man. See, and I don't know how to answer that question because I've got so many of them right now. So many of them that I want. That I just don't have room for. I know I am in love with false water cobras. They are just amazing. I love the way they look. The sailfin dragons. I've seen some pictures of some melanistic ones with bright blue eyes that are just gorgeous. That and green anacondas. I am dying to get a big female green anaconda and have room to have her in there. So I just can't wait until I get moved because the collection's going to expand quite a bit.
See, I think my husband know better not to get a bigger house.
Right?
Because I will be honest, this house is over 4,000 square feet, and I would say probably over 3,000 is occupied by reptiles, including the garage.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt that one. I mean, hell, eight retics take up a lot of space. You do the math in your head real quick and figure out how much floor space that is. I mean, of course, you stack them up. So.
Yep, but I don't stack them. I won't stack more than 3 because I don't want too much weight on one area on the enclosures.
Right.
So you literally 3, So. And then it's just you don't want to do that.
Yeah, you don't want them up too high anyway. I've been places where I had to manage retics that were up 7 feet off the ground in enclosures. You're
Oh
pulling
yeah.
pulling a 16-foot breeding animal that's not well socialized out of an enclosure off a ladder 7 feet off the ground.
Nope.
No,
That's right
I'll
there.
never do that again. I tell you what, you really learn to read snake behavior really quickly when you're up off the ground
It's coming
and
down.
you're peeking up and you're like eye to eye with that snake. You learn really quick to figure out when they're getting ready to take a swing at you.
No.
No, absolutely. Let's see. Heidi had a question. Can adult retic outrun you if you bring them outside? No. Absolutely not.
So it cannot outrun you. But if you don't have the strength to lift and redirect an 80-pound, 100-pound snake, it can get away. But it's not it can't technically outrun you. They typically don't want to move fast. In fact, when you see your retic move fast, it's onto something. They like to kind of like coast. And if you see them go, shh, it's onto something.
Yeah.
Something is about to get it.
Yeah, they're never gonna move any faster than we can power walk. They're just not fast.
Absolutely.
They're fast strike wise and so forth, but when it comes to locomotion, they're just
moving.
They will outclimb.
They're big snakes too.
They will outclimb you though. I know that firsthand.
Oh, and so that's what I tell people. So someone asked me, do you let them go in the tree? Absolutely not. Could you imagine trying to get a retic out of the tree?
Yeah, I was about to tell the story. Yeah, I got the tree out in my backyard. There's a couple pictures on my old intro that shows him on the low hanging branch and stuff, where I just kind of let him, climb around on them bottom branches. I got distracted one day. And I turn around, and Tigger got about 12 feet up the tree on me.
Woo!
Yeah, that's what I said.
How did you get him down? Waited till he came down on his own?
No, I climbed up after.
See? At least you can climb.
Man.
I would have to put a chair next to the tree.
And if snakes can laugh, he was laughing his ass off that day, I guarantee you.
And he knew it, like,
Yeah, because, he wasn't, it's so funny, man. You know how their personalities are. He'd come down, and I'd get him a little bit, and I'd start to get him down, and then he'd just kind of arbitrarily wrap his tail around something else. He'd be like, them appendages aren't doing you much good today, are they, person?
Right. No.
I finally got him down.
I never let them I have big trees, and I don't let them go nowhere near any of them, but I do have climbing apparatuses for them in the house.
Right.
And even I let them go on the deck, because I can get them off the deck. So sometimes they'll rag on the deck and kind of just sit there.
Right. Yeah, that was a fun day. Yeah, I was just telling somebody the story about him the other day too, that when you talk about him recognizing you and shying away from new people, he's always really laid back with me when we're out in the backyard. And the neighbors came over one day, and it was the coolest thing, because he had been out doing his own thing, and one of the neighbors had started to walk up to take a look at him, and that snake, for the first time in his life, turned around, climbed all the way up me, and just started wrapping around and hanging on.
Wow.
You know?
It's amazing. I posted a video on Instagram the other day of my snake. She loves my son to the point. Let me explain. We're close. We're cool.
Right.
I can go over to her, and she's not in the mood. My son will come, and she'll just run right to him, come right in his arms. No hook, no nothing, everything. The other day, I was cleaning, and I told my son to go upstairs and get the broom. You'll see the video on Instagram. If you guys want to go on Instagram, Ladytis Exotics, you'll see the snake come out, and you'll hear me say, wait a minute, I normally don't have my camera near me. I went to grab the camera because I saw what she was looking for. She was looking for him. I said, Michael, stand there. Stand right where you are. She literally bent the corner. She looked up the steps, saw him, climbed the steps, and stopped right at his feet. It's on Instagram. I can't make it up.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's amazing, you know, if everybody could spend a little bit of time with that kind of exposure to these animals and just see what really makes
It's
them
definitely
tick.
amazing.
Yeah, it's it seems like every couple weeks they do see, you know, one of my animals does something. It just blows me away that much more. You know,
Yep.
they're really
And you
neat
wish
like
you
that.
can catch all those moments, but normally it's we're doing something else, cleaning or handling or something like that, and the camera
Right.
is nowhere near or it's not a thought process. But this time, literally, I saw what she was thinking, and I said, "Let me go grab that camera." And
Right.
I said, "Michael, stand right there, don't move." And she did it. She did it. And in the video, if you can take, well, I don't know if it's music on it, but if you take the audio, you can hear me saying to my son, "Oh my God, she's coming to you." I was just as
Right.
surprised as everybody else.
That's awesome. They are really awesome animals. Let's see. See what we got. Fago, yeah, he's talking about wanting to get a falsie. Oh, a Texas Indigo hatchling. Nice. There better be some pictures accompanying that pretty soon. Definitely want to see that. Yeah, those false water cobras are something else, man.
Now,
Let's
the
see.
false water cobras, do they have rear fang venomous or not venomous at all?
False water cobras? They're
Mm-hmm.
colubrids, right? I think they're colubrids, so they should be rear fang.
Oh, I just heard
Rear
cobra.
fang. Oh yeah, yeah. No,
I
they're
figured it wasn't a king cobra, but
no, no. I don't trust myself with venomous snakes. I really don't.
oh,
Because
this is the thing. It's not even a trust thing. This is my thing. Let's say if I got a venomous snake. Let's talk the retics, because the reality of is if you get the wrong retic, they can be very dangerous too.
hmm
But the chances of anything happening with it, whether it's a bite or if it's a constriction, I got tools to get out of that situation.
hmm
If you get bit by a venomous snake, you're bit by venomous. You're gonna lose something, whether
Right.
it's a limb or life.
hmm
And I just, it's not worth the risk for me. I definitely appreciate and applaud people who keep them. I love watch people handling king cobras because I like that intelligence too, because
Right.
they are very smart. But yeah, and then as my husband say, I'm clumsy.
Right.
I've been a
Yeah.
cobra and the cobra been.
Yeah. Yeah. I think of the colubrids, because you've got the same thing with hognose. I mean, technically they're venomous, but like an ant bite. I
Right,
think
it's
there's,
real
I think
thing.
the
Yeah, the
only,
only collusion.
yeah, I think the only medically significant colubrids, boom slangs, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
the
those are
only
the only ones.
colubrid I have is the corn snake, and he's
Yeah.
uneventful.
Yeah. Yeah, mine's just really funny to feed. Every time I feed, I make sure I hold it up as high as I can, and she's instantly all the way
They
around that
are
thing, just
good eaters.
swinging in the air.
Yeah, so I always say that if you talk about a retic feeding response, try corn snake.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, it's kind of funny. I kind of describe handling a retic like handling a corn snake, only it's 60 pounds heavier.
Yep.
Because I know every single time I spend any time at all with Tigger, man, he kicks my butt. I come back inside and I'm just dripping. Lugging
Yeah, so
in
that's why
from-
when people say that the corn snake is a good beginner snake, I still think the ball python is better because the corn snake can be intimidated to a young child because of the fast moves. They won't,
Right.
kind of stay still.
Right.
The only thing is the educational part of it, like not understanding why a ball python is not eating and stuff like that to a younger child might be confusing.
Right.
And, but other than that, a corn snake, until it gets older, it moves a lot.
Right. Yeah. And they, smaller ones, of course, tend to be a little more fragile. We were just talking about
Yeah.
first lizards for kids, too, and I mean, something like leopard geckos are awesome, but they're so fragile,
Yeah.
they're so small, got them tiny little feet.
We
gotta
only
be
got
so
one
careful
of
with it.
them, and that's my son. I have no interest in the leopard gecko, but my son wanted one,
Yeah.
so we have one.
Yeah, we've got a pair here, and then we've got one other one that we hatched. Actually, we've got another one upstairs
Okay.
too. So we got 4 of them.
So you actually breed them?
On accident.
Okay.
Yeah, we got decided one time to try to incubate, and we managed to get one of the eggs to hatch. And he's just done really well. You know, he's outgrown both of his parents.
Wow.
Big guy, done really well. But those guys are really friendly. I don't know though. After I got the the Nile monitor, he's kind of in a class by himself. He's an entirely different discussion. But the Tegu, I really. Go ahead.
The Nile monitor to me is more, not gonna say difficult, but more. You need more time to tame them than an Asian water monitor.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I've seen. Everybody that I've seen with Asian water monitors, they seem to tame down so much easier. Actually, Saturday after next, I'm having Rob Faustad, and he wrote a book on Nile monitors. He was the guy he was the guy that when I first got Niles, I spent hours and hours on the phone with this guy, just learning everything that he had to teach me about him to make sure I was doing all the right stuff with him. And, you need every bit of that help starting with these guys.
Yes.
Because he's really reactive. I was explaining it to somebody the other day, excuse me, that, once I take one of my snakes out, once I break that food response and they come out, I don't worry about them from that point forward. They can wrap around, do whatever they want to. I don't worry about them biting me. Niles, on the other hand, I'll open up the side of his enclosure, and you can make that initial contact with him and get him laid out. His legs will all be outstretched and sprawled out, and really long tongue flicks. Next thing you know, an animal will move somewhere in the room, and his head pops up, and he's testing something with his, So
wow.
Yeah. You just got to pay so much attention.
It has for the most part. It's the same with the snakes, like you said. Once he realizes you who walking in the room, then he's fine. Every now and then, though, and I told my husband I chalk it down to maybe being sleepy or something, or tired. Every now he might give you a little tail wag, and walk away. He's not trying. It's just like I don't want to be bothered. But other than that, it's most of the time once he acknowledges you, you're fine.
Yeah. I think Niles is going to do a lot better this summer because, of course, could be spending a lot of time with him outside. And he does a lot better in the summertime because he gets that extra exercise and that extra interaction and so forth, being outside of the enclosure. I'm kind of limited to how much I can let him run around the house. So.
Right. Do you put a harness on him when you walk him outside?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, good. Because I'm just so, like with the lizards, the tegu's pretty. Now, somebody asked the question about can a retic get away from you? No, but a lizard can in a heartbeat. And they go from 0 to 100.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And he is so funny too, man, because I got a stream in the backyard right here, so he'll make a beeline to the stream and just swim down it for a little while.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we have a really good time when he goes outside. He's just getting cabin fever right now, so he's got all this pent up energy. I can't wait till the temperature comes back up out here. So you've got Asian water monitors and tegus, and what else do you have for lizards?
Retics, Asian water monitor, tegus, retics, boa constrictors, over 50 pythons now, ball pythons.
Oh, nice.
12 tarantulas, 2 red ear sliders, the leopard gecko, and the green tree python. And why do I feel like I'm forgetting something?
Because we always do.
Probably the 2 dogs, and then of course, I'm breeding reds now that I'm breeding snakes. I actually started breeding reds, so I have a bunch of reds now.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know, man. It kind of looks like
the worm. I'm forgetting getting the 2 Burmese pythons.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, baby. She looked at me like, she said, right here, I got 2 Burmese pythons. Like, you forgot about me. I'm sorry.
All right. Yeah, she's down there saying, that's what I get for being so chill. Watch that change.
Yep.
She'll remember me next time.
Always ask me, what's the difference between the retic and the berm? I said, the retic comes to the party high on cocaine. The berm just want wine.
That is absolutely right, too.
Different.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my berm is so easy to handle, man. He's just so mellow.
Yes.
I got to chase him around. Both of my retics give me a workout.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. People, why are you sweating? You would never understand what 10 minutes of handling a retic is like.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, 60 pounds doesn't sound like a lot until it's trying to get away from you. You know, spread out over 15
someone made a good
feet.
comment. It's not just 60 pounds. So in the funeral home, we would talk about when somebody died and they wore 200 pounds. That's 400. And I think it's the same with the retics. It's like picking up dead weight.
Yeah.
Opposed to just a regular 60 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I caught that the other day. I didn't know you were in the funeral business. And
No, I don't own one.
Right.
I wish. No. But that's what I went to school for.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that was funny.
I was a mortician for many years.
I thought that's funny because I recently got my North Carolina crematory operator's license.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I just happened to get it by happenstance because I was working out of that general vicinity. But it was primarily doing transports for the medical examiner's office from crime scenes and accident scenes and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was, transporting from there to the mortuary and working out of a funeral home. So I just happened to get my crematory, and I was like, of all of the things that I never thought I would ever see on my resume.
Right. So it's so funny. I always tell people, when you train in mortuary science, one of the things you have to do is that you have to study at a cremation center, which is normally in a mortuary facility somewhere.
Right.
All of them don't have them, at least in Maryland. It's very few to have them. So if you need somebody cremated, you might have to go a little distance. But we literally would have to watch it from beginning to end, like study it and write down the transformations. And I said from that I could never get cremated because I swear I believe a dead person can feel it. Like I cannot. I was like, wow. And you had to do it 3 times, and if you failed the test, you had to do the 3 times. The 3 times again. I made sure I didn't fail that test. I was like, there's no way I can do this over and over again.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't particularly miss it. I switched jobs here not too long ago, so we ended up dropping the medical examiner contract because they weren't paying. County just wasn't paying.
Okay.
It ended up costing the company I was with more to make those runs than the county was paying. So, they dropped that. Yeah, and I'm not a funeral home guy, so I went back to operate. back to operate an excavator for a natural gas company now. So, so we get to do that until the reptile thing takes off well enough to where I can just do this all the time.
I know that's right. That's the goal.
Yep. Yeah, it'd be nice. Get a bigger place and get some more animals and be able to devote some more time to producing videos and stuff. Man, it killed me the other day. I was up till 2:30 in the morning finishing up that last video I did and had to get up at 5.
It's 2 jobs, One that I really love, though. And the other one I do because I really love this one because it funds the one that I really love.
Exactly. Exactly. I wanted to put a quick shout out here too to US Arc. For any of you guys that don't know yet, US Arc has started a YouTube channel. It's actually Garrett Hartle from Reach Out Reptiles that was working with Phil Goss to get that done. And their YouTube channel right now, the first week got over 1,000 subs, and they're getting there slowly but surely. But we really need to work on getting everybody on this. If you're not subscribed to that yet, get subscribed. I mean, we all hear about the these YouTube channels that are pulling down 10 grand a month. If we can get the US ARC channel pulling down 10 grand a month, then that's just about going to pay for another lobbyist for them, just with the channel. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely get on, get there. Yeah, they've got the subscriber count already. Now all they need is the watch time to get monetized, and just need to start.
Right. And the minimum $40. The minimum.
Right.
So there's not even a reptile except for a normal ball python that you can buy for $40 or less.
Right.
So if you can buy a $500 snake, a $4,000 monitor, a $5,000 retake, you got $20.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to give it, please don't buy a reptile. Because I think that what frustrates me is that you have all of these people invested into US ARC and, definitely supporting what they're going through. And I don't think people realize is that it's a lot of work behind what they have to do.
Oh, yeah.
And you're kind of like riding on the coattail of the others who are contributing. And it should just be as much of a necessity to invest as it is for others.
Absolutely.
There are some people who don't even own pets who are invested in US ARC because they own a pet store. But they understand that if we don't have pets, they won't have a store.
Exactly.
So we should understand that if we don't have US ARC, we may very well not have a lot of these pets. In fact, think about it. Years ago, the boa constrictors, I wouldn't have them if that law was never overturned.
Right. Yeah, and we Fago was just saying that he thought that they had put out an alert. I just seen, I think it was yesterday that Garrett put it out. He put out an update on the channel over there. And it was in regards to the Lacey Act, letting everybody know that that he had seen a message with a lawmaker saying that they was expecting by the end of the summer to have their collaboration finished, because the House and the Senate has to get together on this in regards to the Lacey Act, and they look at their versions and decide what stays and what goes. So in the meantime, while they are looking at all this, they've got a special committee put together. Really important for everybody to get letters generated out about this. If you go to the US ARC website right here, they have got everything that you need. You can look up who your representatives are. They've got sample letters. Of course, the alerts come out here, and it's really, really important. One, like Nicole was saying, we got to get your membership in there. Going to the going to your representative representing 1 million people is a lot more attention getting than representing 10,000. Because they look at everything in terms of voters. Very, very important. So yeah, if you guys ain't got it yet, get it, and get those letters out. I know Florida is still going through some stuff down there. We still would like to get this black and white tegu ban thing here turned around out in North Carolina, which would be nice. I mean, I've got mine, and I can get my permit to keep her, and she's going to be around for a long time if everything goes well. But it's one of those things. At some point, maybe I'd like to get another one, breed them. But I'm not going to be able to do that after.
I think too. I'll give a personal example. A goal for us was we were going to move to North or South Carolina, and then they banned the takeovers. I don't think people understand the impact of how it changes everything. Imagine that every decision that you make will have to be constructed right in the state that you are in based on the bylaws of the animals that you own. And you can't cross a state line. Like I'm in Fort Washington, Maryland, which I am literally 5 minutes from DC, 5 minutes from Virginia, and 5 minutes from Maryland.
Man.
So if I wanted to go to the store with a tegu or one of the lizards or whatever the case may be, or to a pet store or to the vet, my vet is in Virginia. I wouldn't be able to take my snakes to the vet anymore.
Man. Yeah, that's a really bad spot for you to be in, since everything's going to be across the line of some sort.
Yeah.
Man. Well, yeah, that's what Garrett hit on the last video on the US Arc website that he put out, or on the US Arc YouTube channel rather. So yeah, everybody, make sure getting those letters out, particularly on that, because everything's still at a point. You hear rumors one way or the other. You hear rumors that they're going to leave it in, rumors that they're cutting it out already. It doesn't matter. It's not over until it's over. It's not over until that 10 count hits and they ring that last bell. so keep sending letters, handwritten stuff, emails, phone calls, everything.
And poor Florida. I mean,
yeah, because they're talking
Florida
about the white
the
list.
reptile haven.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
White list is scary because leave it to a bunch of laymen that don't know what they're talking about to determine what's safe. You're going to have a leopard gecko and a frog, and everything else is either going to be dangerous or invasive. So.
Right. Well, I would say, I've never, ever been harmed by a snake, but I definitely almost had my arm taken away the end of 2017 by a dog that I had took in. Was paralyzed for months.
Really?
And it took me over a year to get my normal motor skills, and even to this day, it'll never be the same. Like if I do my hand, let me see. Probably can't see it. Come this way. It's so funny trying to do that over here.
Yeah.
There we go.
Let me see.
So there you go. So if I move my hand, you can see the muscle move, but I can't feel anything at the top.
Yeah. What kind of dog was that that got you?
He was a Presa Canary pit bull mix.
Oh, yeah.
He was a big dog, smart dog,
Right.
and I feel bad. I felt really bad for the dog because I took the dog in because I love animals, and I never had a fear of dogs. Any dog, you could bring any kind of dog around me, and I would be okay. I love them.
Right.
So this family was getting evicted, and they had 3 dogs. 2 was the parents, so of course the mother and father they always had. So it was easier for them to part with the baby. This was the smartest dog ever. The first day I had this dog, still got videos to the day. The dog name was Messiah. We took him out in the backyard. The dog would eat his food until you told him to eat all of it. The next morning, we assumed that he realized his normal routine wasn't there.
Right.
And then that's when he attacked me. But the dog attacked me, and he held on for about 35 seconds. And literally all of this was gone. I had a lot of surgery to it.
Man.
And he walked backwards like he knew that, oh my God, I didn't mean it. And so when they took him away, because of course, we had to call the police, the ambulance had to come get me. It was that bad. It was horrible. And then they took me to the ambulance. When the animal control called, they determined that the dog had a gene called rage. Now, his original family probably would have never seen it. But because by him being relocated, it triggered the gene to act.
Right.
And it made all the sense in the world because I was just with the dog. I just walked the dog and everything. And then all of a sudden, I was going upstairs, and God just told me, I keep telling my husband, God said, turn around. It was like this voice that said, turn around, and the dog was coming at me. And because I watch a lot of animal channels and stuff, I know that with a bear or a dog, do not let them grab your neck or your femoral of your leg, because your femoral artery and your carotid. So I gave him my arm, and that was my better chance. And I'd rather lose an arm than a life. So
Right. Absolutely. That's the same thing with a snake. If they're going to get a hold of you, let them take your arm and wrap that
That's
up
right.
instead of your neck.
That's right. That's right.
I've dealt with
But
both of
yeah.
those conditions.
Mm-hmm.
But there was
No.
I'm really hoping that, as things progress this summer, I hope they get a bunch of that legislation taken care of, because that's just going to be bad. I think we're making a big enough noise, but I'm going to keep pushing it all summer long. Hopefully we start getting some good news pretty soon.
Yeah, or get it at least where it's quiet again.
Right.
It's just so much. We have a place in that too. I think a lot of this stuff comes up because as pet owners, we don't understand that we have a responsibility of what we display.
Mm-hmm.
So even if one of my reticulated pythons wrapped me up, I'll probably tell you about it, Tim, but you're
Right.
not going to see a video on YouTube. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
yeah.
You're not going to hear me talk about it publicly
Right.
on the news, anything like that. It's not going to happen because I know that it can affect the entire hobby.
Right.
And it's the same thing we talk about the live feeding. Do what you do. There are some animals, some babies I have to feed live, but my goal is for every single animal at some point to get onto frozen thawed for the safety of the animal.
Yeah.
But also, I'm not going to show feeding them because for the people, like you said, the people who don't know anything about them, to them it's horrible. We're feeding other animals from animal. Although we eat animals as humans, people look at that like, I can't believe they're doing that, and it gives our animals a bad reputation.
Yeah. It's all in presentation and having some common sense about it.
Yeah. Now, I do think it's necessary to have videos that show educationally, like have the dialogue of the why you have to feed a rat to a snake and why some of them won't eat frozen thawed and, why is this the preferred food, that type of thing. But even that, it has to be done in a very structural way.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's certain things that in just about every field that, has to be done, and it's not something that you necessarily want to glamorize, but I mean, everything that ends up at McDonald's, you don't want to glamorize that,
Right.
I don't think it's any different than, you don't see anybody posting videos of a slaughterhouse, but everybody's going to the steakhouse on the weekend. Big difference,
Yep. Perfect. And that's why people don't see any harm in humans eating animals because they don't see the animal getting slaughtered.
Right. Yeah. And unless you're a country boy and you're used to used to hunting and skinning your own animals, all that stuff's gonna be rough.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah, I believe that things like bite videos, they have to be done to some degree, but you just got to be so careful about how you present it. You
I remember the video that Nerd did.
Yeah.
When they was just happening to be recording when he went to open up the golden child and it came out.
Yeah.
But he gave the education behind it. He told everything that he did wrong.
Right.
But even if you were a fool, after hearing him explain, you knew it wasn't the snake. Fault,
Mm-hmm.
He made it clear what he did wrong. He knew better,
Right. Yeah, and that's something that I explain to anybody before I even let them handle the snakes. This is what happens if we screw up and you get bit. Yeah. So this is what Garrett had a really good one where he did the corn cob technique on a snake's tail. He just somebody just happened to be filming him, and he was reaching up, and the snake got a hold of him, and he's like, "Oh, this is a good opportunity for me to show you something." So he runs outside and chews on a snake's tail for a second.
Oh, I did see that. He comes outside, goes to the right. Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah. I had somebody tell me about it. I had somebody tell me about it beforehand, and it was like, just corn cob snake's tail, and I'm like, you really need to put the crack pipe down. And it's like, no. And I seen that, I was like, man, I guess it works. I'm not in a big hurry to get bit again and test it, but I guess next time I do get wrapped up, I will try it. But
Yeah, even when I'm like having my grandkids to handle them, like my 6-year-old, she can even handle some of the larger retics because, again, they're not defensive at all. She understands how to get them to come out with her. She can't lift them. So she
Right.
knows how to get them to come out and go on over to the floor and things like that, get them to move different directions. But I
Right.
always teach them with all snakes before they handle them to understand all the things you need to do to prevent a bite. And if you do get bit, what to do. And to
Right.
always understand that it's not the animal's fault. Like the snake didn't just bite you, just to bite you. And
Right.
so neither of them have any fear though. None of my children ever fear any of the snakes. Especially my granddaughter. I have to tell her no to certain ones, like the green tree python. No, it's just a flat out no. Because you do anything wrong, you're
Yeah.
going to get bit.
Yeah, mine got a little excited the other day when I opened it up and missed me and got a mouthful of substrate.
Oh
Had to go in there and just picking moss out of his mouth. But
Yeah, I'm more
he's
intimidated by my green tree python than any of these reticulated pythons.
yeah, mine's kind of
I'm
reactive.
focused.
He hasn't really swung at me specifically yet, but yeah, I did wake him up that day, I think, and he was just boom, popped it. So fortunately, I wasn't anywhere near it.
Wow.
But did you see? I don't know if you've seen it or not. Jeremy and Rob and a couple other folks has started Carolina Herpetological Society out here.
Yes, I did. They were really big that up in New Hampshire, so I'm
Yeah.
glad to see that they're making it happen in North Carolina too. I
Yeah.
think New Hampshire had one of the best and longer lasting herp societies than most places. Like
Right.
Maryland had one in the 80s that was really, really popping, but then that just kind of died off.
Yeah. Yeah, Rob is in heaven down here, man. I mean, he's outside He's outside herping all the time. He's always posting stuff. They we had I think it was the first meeting this past Sunday. Yeah.
Okay.
Out by Charlotte out here. It had a turnout of like 20 or more people, you know. So for a first meeting, that was pretty good. You know,
Wow.
hung around and chatted for a little while, and then they went off. I was so busy that day I had to come home, but they all went off field herping. Found some hog nose and a couple other things out there that day. So there's all kinds of stuff out here.
Wow.
So that's really good too. I've got a link in the description for the Facebook page for them. There's a North Carolina Herpetological Society, and that's not it. It's the Carolinas Herp Society, and that's because he wanted to include North and South Carolina. So
What part of North Carolina are you in again?
I'm central, not too far from Greensboro. So.
Okay, so my dad is buried in Winston-Salem. My family
Oh,
is
okay.
from Winston-Salem. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm 30 minutes from Winston here, so I'm about halfway
all of
between
my
Charlotte
older
and Raleigh.
siblings are still there. Yeah. I spent plenty of time in Greensboro and Winston, at
Yeah.
High Point.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
it's-
love North Carolina.
Yeah, you get away from town, it's pretty good. They can't quit shooting each other in town out here, though. It's been pretty bad lately. I'm pretty
I
glad
think
I
that's the
live.
world in general. Places that typically didn't even have chaos have chaos now.
Right.
People is just off the rocker.
I know. That's why I like staying home playing with my animals.
Yep, animals. There is a true benefit to owning reptiles.
Yes, indeed. Well, there was something else I was thinking of. What was it? There was the Herp Society. And, oh, yeah, I got, I don't know if you'd seen this or not. Got contacted from a producer from North Carolina Public Radio the other day. Got an email, and they'd seen my my video on the Tegu band and wanted to interview me on that. So sometime next week, I got a public radio interview coming up.
Awesome. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I think I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be good.
Yeah, so we was pretty excited about
You're
that.
doing big things. It's really awesome. We need that positive light in the community.
Well, that's why I got you on, because you're one of the most positive people I know. We need to get you out there some more.
I love the animals.
Yeah,
Not always fond of people, but I love the animals.
Right. Yeah, that's the hard part sometimes, man. You just, especially, in my industry, man, it's so funny. You get all these, it's just like anything else. When I was in the Army, you get all these big bad soldiers, and you walk up to them with a snake, and they squeal and run. Same thing now, got all these big gas construction workers out there and all that, man. You start talking about snakes, and they pucker up, and I'm like, man, they're not that bad. They're a lot of fun.
Right.
That's my whole goal. Hopefully sometime this summer I can get some more exposure, get my guys out to a park or something. And yeah, so. Let's see. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything really quick here. See, Fago, I think Fago left. Looked like he waved us off a little while ago. Oh, no.
Okay.
He said he was looking at Morph Market.
Get off the Morph Market.
Yeah, look at Morph Market. You just go ahead and kiss him next 3 paychecks and goodbye.
I stay on Morph Market.
I know, right? Cave-dwelling rat snakes are... this one right here. Buddy of mine out in Winston, Adam with Mortal Coil Exotics, has got some awesome blue beauties. Look him up. If you know Mortal Coil, I've actually got his page linked on a couple videos because him and I have done some collaborations together. He's got some really, really cool colubrids out there.
And he's breeding them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, and he's really good people too. He's one of the more and he's got a lot of integrity for a breeder, man.
Okay.
He's the first person that'll oh, okay. Yeah, Fago said he's in Virginia. That's awesome.
Trying to plug this up real quick. There we go. Thank you.
Let's see. There we go. So yeah, definitely look up Adam, man. He's got some really cool stuff out there. And he had a new female retic he got a little while back that kicked my butt when we went over to the house to handle her.
Oh, that's the one that you did the video with? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And she got out and started winding in and out of the chairs and everything. So yeah,
she gave you both a workout.
She did. You should have seen the part of that video that we cut out.
Yeah. See, I tell you, I think I told you this before. I love my retics, but if someone has a large retic that's in an enclosure, I'm never going to be the one to go take it out. Like, I'm not that confident with somebody else's snake. Like, I'm 100% confident with mine because I know them.
Right.
I know them outside of that glass or inside of that glass. I know them. But somebody else's, that's bold. Now, I'll hold it once you get it out.
Right.
Hand it to me. But I'm not going to be the one to go get it out.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, man, that really, I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to work in that breeding facility because you got no choice but to continually all day long pull them snakes out. And it doesn't make any difference what mood they're in, you got to get them out and you got to work with them. And it was interesting. It makes everything else seem so much easier.
I'm sure.
Yeah, there was only one up there that just was completely hands off. And that one, you just opened up the glass on the top and the bottom enclosure, put a big plastic tub over it, and just let her crawl through the tub into the other enclosure, and that's how you moved her to clean the cage.
Wow.
But, I think even something like that would be something that I would like to try now, and just try and work and socialize an animal like that. But they are definitely a lot of fun.
Once it gets to that adult side for me, and if somebody else says, no, you're going to have to take it out. I can help you. You can hand it to me once you bring it out there, but I'm not going in.
Yeah, it's really humbling. Really humbling when you get around, 18, 20, 22-foot snakes, man. I hope my little girl turns into one of them. I really hope she gets 20 feet plus.
Well, the golden child went from 4 feet to 14 feet in no time.
Mm-hmm.
What's amazing, the Motley Mochino and the Motley Tiger, they're just growing way past everybody.
Right.
And I mean, it's like a massive growth spurt.
Mm-hmm.
So at one time, Hefe was actually shorter than T'Challa, but now he's actually the same length of her, but he's actually wider. And they fed exactly the same. They on the same feeding schedule, and they have two different bodies. So it tells you a lot about genetics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the way my female is. I got her when she was probably 4 or 5 feet, and she's about ready to pass up my male now, who was like 13 feet when I got her. So.
Yeah, them breed picks. And I forgot another thing that people don't understand. You have to be prepared that this snake, this is not a ball python. It's not going to take 2 years to grow.
Mm-hmm.
This snake is going to grow massively in 2 months. It's not going to be the same snake you took out the box.
Yep. Yeah, there's days where you go downstairs.
About the forever home now.
Exactly. You go downstairs the very next day and you're like, man, my snake got bigger.
Yep. Look, the head, everything. Totally different snake.
Yep.
After a shed specifically, they normally look definitely different.
Yeah. Yeah, mine, I noticed her like the day after a big feeding. You know, when their whole body kind of swells up a little bit, man, and you just start looking at it and you're like, man, she's like a monster. It's great. So we're definitely going to have to do this again sometime soon. I know we've got to. I know you got a lot of stuff going on over there today with the kiddos and the grandkids and whatnot. So glad everything.
I'm going to try to soothe them with taking them swimming, checking them into a hotel and let them go swimming.
There you go. Yeah, we're getting ready. We're getting ready to go out to dinner here in a little bit. So do that, and then I'm going to take my day off tomorrow and just play with the animals. And it's supposed to be 80 tomorrow, but it's supposed to rain too. But if I get Niles outside, I'll make a video with him.
And that, I mean, you're building a bigger enclosure for him. I can't wait to see what you do with that. That's going to be just phenomenal. I mean, even his starter enclosure is nice.
I've got the picture of everything in my head. The only thing that I don't have in my head right now is where in the hell I'm going to put it. I've got to. I mean, I'm literally at the point right now where I think I've got to take my workbench out. Pack up tools, take my workbench out, move the 8-foot enclosures over there, and then dedicate that whole spot because I've got to get a huge garden tub for him now and build the enclosure around that. So he's going to have just the entire complete garden tub in there and then dirt areas around that, platforms and all that stuff. And
yeah, it was really fun watching my husband build my Asian water monitor enclosure. And that was one of the big things I wanted. I definitely wanted him to have a really big swimming space. And watching him, sometimes even at night on camera, and really enjoying all of the space, the dirt, the different platforms. Yeah. Watch him. I never realized how much an Asian water monitor jumps. Like, so he does a lot of, I'm like, what are you doing? I'm thinking he's hurting himself. You have kids.
Yeah, Niles snuck up on me one day because he always, when he gets out, because I've got the tub in there and I've got those boards across the top that he can crawl on top of. So, he just falls off them boards. But when he's crawling up on them, he's just so leisurely, just kind of crawling and just, one leg at a time. And he'd never done this until this one day, man, where I opened it up. As soon as I got the door up, he kicked that tail in the tub. He had his whole tail submerged, and he just kicked that tail and shot out like a yard dart.
Yeah, it's amazing. Them lizards, boy.
Yeah, that's why I'm so cautious around him, especially with anybody else around, because it's just a split second, man, and they can be the whole conversation can change with them guys.
Yep.
Be
Yep.
really careful. So
Gotta love them.
absolutely.
Yeah, but this was definitely fun.
Yeah. Yeah, so you guys, I'm trying to think of anything we may have forgot. I know Fago said he was going to get his hypo out right now that got him into the bike club. We all get hit sooner or later. Let's see. Okay, yeah, she found the found Mortal Coil for the Blue Beauties. Cool. Awesome, guys. Well, I think it's about time for us to go out and get some dinner and stuff and go swimming.
Yeah. All righty. Well, thank you so much, Tim.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on. Now we'll get you
Thanks, everyone.
yeah, I will talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right, thanks. And you guys, thanks for
Bye-bye.
hanging out. Go ahead and drop your comments in there. We will see you all next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.